Hi, I'm Nan Simonsen. I'm a nationally board certified health and wellness coach. And today I am interviewing someone I admire tremendously. We have been together, been recorded together twice. I interviewed her about her story. Janet Anspath Rickey is the Plant Powered Peddler. And she does what I can only admire. Now, every day, almost every day, I go out and pedal. I get on my bike and I ride along a river bottom around one of my favorite parks, around their lake, and I feel like I'm riding like the wind. Well, nothing at all like what Janet does. She's going to tell you her story. My first interview with her was a wonderful biography of her time on a bicycle and, quite frankly, her time transforming herself um, from one weight, 90 pounds less, to the weight that she is now. So there's a lot in that story. I'll put the link on the description and you can look at that. Today we're going to keep it neat and clean because she has a lot to show you, a lot to tell you. And so I've asked her to tell her, well, the things you should know to understand why she is the person you should be listening to as it relates to how she makes it work to get on a bike, travel with food and all the equipment that she needs, and to do it for, well, a year at a time or for 8 or 9 days or 10 days at a time, which she's about to do. So, Janet, would you take it away, tell them who you are, and then show them what they need to know?
Well, the reason I call myself the Plant Powered Peddler is because in 2020, I switched to whole food plant exclusive, and I love to ride and tour. And I thought, how am I going to do this and stay plant-based? Well, it's the easiest thing in the world. Even eating raw, it's so easy. Now, when we did do the perimeter of the United States twice. First time was on a regular bike. And then we got smart and got these pedal assist electric bikes. And we thought, we've got to do it again with these pedal assist bikes. So we did it again in 2018, 2019. And it was about 12,000 miles. And we weren't Whole Food Plant exclusive in 2018, 2019. It was 2020. And I mean, one of the issues was my body would become so efficient on a long ride like that, 365 days, that when I would get home, my I would gain weight. And so I would lighten up on the ride, but then when I would get home, I just packed the weight on. And so you could see when I did my story with you, Nan, I showed how I was on this tour in Arizona in the spring of 2020, and I was pretty hefty. I was, well, compared to what I am now. So it was around 160 pounds, and now I'm 110, so 50 pounds ago. That last 50 pounds is what I took off going whole food exclusive. The first 40, I was able to get off in the years before just by getting off processed foods, by doing what I thought was healthy eating, but it still was dairy and cheese and eggs and animal products. It wasn't until I gave up all that and the processed food that those are still processed. Once I gave those up, the weight just melted off. And now I'm so much lighter when I tour. And I right now, because I've also been interested in Goldner. Anybody who listens to Nan knows she's following Dr. Goldner. And so I've been fully raw since September. And I did what's called a hub and spoke tour in September. I mean in October in Ellensburg, which means you go and you stay in one place and you ride from that one place like you're in the hub, and you ride out like spokes from a wheel in all different directions. And that is what I'm planning to do next Saturday. We're going to drive down to California, and so we'll have the vehicle. Now, depending on how I'm riding is how I'll pack for the trip. So because I'll have my vehicle, I can take my Vitamix. I can take my NutriBullet. If I'm fully self-supported, leaving right from the house, all I take is a cutting board, a knife, a good knife, a peeler, a grater, maybe a hand spiralizer, just little light things, maybe some sort of a something to help me juice limes and lemons. I've got a plastic top of a thing. I've brought out some of the stuff that I'm gonna uh, take with me to pack. I have one bowl that I use when I'm just on the bicycle, and that's what I eat everything in. We'll use the ice bucket in the hotel room. That makes a good salad bowl holder that I can make a salad in. I mean, you figure out all kinds of things.
Well, tell them where you're going to go. First of all, she did 2 times a year away on her bike. Now she's taking off, but she's taking the bike in a car. Tell them where you're going, how many people you'll be riding with, and when you're leaving.
So every spring we do what's called a spring fling. Sometimes we go to San Luis Obispo, sometimes we go to Eastern Washington. This time we're all becoming familiar with Santa Rosa because of True North. So we thought, let's go to Santa Rosa because being down there this time of year, we know it's pleasant there to ride. And up here, it's getting lots more pleasant. I mean, last week, no, it was this week. We were out of power because of a windstorm. The week before this week, it was in the 20s. I mean, we had such a cold week here. And now today, it's almost 60. So
Tell them where
just
you are.
we're in Paulsville, Washington, which is west of the mainland, which is Seattle. So yeah, Washington State. So it used to be very temperate, but it's getting the weather is definitely changing with the whole climate thing. So we're going to drive down to Windsor. It's going to be one overnight. We'll stop in Oregon, Southern Oregon, and then we'll get the rest of the way the next day. And I think Windsor is maybe a half hour north of Santa Rosa. So we'll do all our rides from this big Airbnb. I think there'll be 2, 4, 6. There's going to be 8 of us in the Airbnb, and then there's going to be some people in nearby hotels. And the Airbnb has a hot tub, so that'll be nice. And we'll
I'm
just
going to
go.
ask you an interest. I interrupted. I'm sorry, but
No, that's okay.
I want to ask you and tell me if this is too delicate. You told me, because I asked you that question earlier, that one person is a double amputee. This person is a rider.
Yeah.
Do you
So
want
she
to
rides,
explain that? And
huh?
do you want to explain that, how that is done? Because so many of us feel if one part of us doesn't work, the other part of us doesn't work as well. You'll hear all the time people say, well, I don't exercise because I have a bad hip or my knees or whatever. This person doesn't have 2 limbs, whatever they are, you can tell us, and yet gets on a bike and rides for 10 days. This is
She's
this is
amazing.
so inspiring. Tell us about that.
So she has orthotics. She has prosthetics, and she has stumps and
Are you talking about arms or legs?
legs,
Okay.
legs. Yeah, and so she has special clips, and she puts her legs into the pedals. So she has her own pedal assist. A pedal assist has really she couldn't ride alone until the electric bikes came out, but now with a trike, which it's low on the ground, a trike bicycle, it's power pedal assist. She can actually ride her own bike, but usually she and her husband will ride on a tandem, so a bicycle built for two, and he's in a regular seat, and then her seat extends out in front of him, and so she's lower to the ground, and her legs are out in front of her, and she rides pedals. She can pedal the bike, and I mean, and he's just very athletic, and he helps her, and she sometimes has to get off the bike. Sometimes the only place to go to the bathroom is what we call the green room, which is the great outdoors. And she's walking on unlevel ground, and she's amazing.
I love that. That's so inspiring. And what a vision that must be. What a vision the 10 of you must be. Do you ride side by side or single file for safety or what?
Yeah, we like to ride just two abreast for safety to make us more like a car.
So
But
riding two abreast is safer than going single file?
we're much more visible to cars. And I think,
I see.
the most important thing to drivers is not to be confused. And so if say we're on a narrow road and there's no shoulder and we're trying to get over, well, what we're telling the car driver is go ahead and try to pass me. But what we really have learned to do is claim the lane. And the car, like I'm a slow moving vehicle.
Hmm.
And so if the car wants to pass, they have to go to the other side of the road, just like they would for another car.
Okay.
And so we try to stay to very quiet roads. We try, or if there's more traffic, there's a shoulder, a nice shoulder, so that we can be on the shoulder and not feel like we're going to get sideswiped by the car. So we really try to pick routes that either take us off road or safely down the road. I mean, we don't want to get in anybody's way any more than you want us in the way.
Yeah.
Um, and then there are some times that we just have to. It's the only way to get from wonderful riding point A to wonderful riding point B. There might be just a little section in there that is dicey for both of us. But
So,
I'll tell you, I'd rather be in car traffic than in pedestrian traffic because walking, multi-use trails, there's dogs, there's baby strollers, there's walkers that aren't paying any attention that are stopped and chatting in the middle of the lane. And whereas cars, they're like us, they want to get to where they want to go. I mean, not that our heads are down and we like to look at, we're not racers by any sense of the word. We really enjoy the journey, but um,
so
I don't mind traffic at all. I think
okay.
as long as you're clear with what you're going to do, drivers have been completely wonderful.
So how many? All right. So you're taking off. You have reservations for that first night, then you're staying in an Airbnb. Do you reserve meals in advance or anything, or is it just do you give yourself the freedom to call a day out in the morning in terms of direction, or do you have everything mapped out? You haven't reserved for meals because most of the meals you have on the back of your bike, or what?
So this depends on the tour. With a hub and spoke tour, we always know where the grocery store is because we're staying in one place. You can scope it all out. And I usually go to the store every night. But that's not because I can't shop for the week. The problem is when you've got 8 people, you've got a refrigerator that has to hold 8 people's meals if you're all eating in, which we tend to do because we like each other. When we're uh, actually the ones that like to eat out are the ones that are staying in a hotel, so they're welcome to do that, or they can come over and eat and prepare food with us, which is more refrigerator space needed. So what I do, because I'm eating raw, a lot of my raw stuff actually doesn't have to be in the refrigerator overnight. So if I'm just doing my shopping day by day, that's not a big concern for me. And so on this trip, I will take my Vitamix and my NutriBullet, and I've got them over here. But
So
I mean, you all know what it looks like.
I'm
And
going to
then
I'm going to give you the screen. I think you're explaining enough
okay,
detail right
I'm
now that I think
I'm
you
going into it, aren't I?
entire screen. Yeah, hold on just a minute.
Yeah.
And here you go.
Okay. I think what I'll do is the first thing I want to show you actually is just I was going to show you the bike because I want you to see how I load it, and then I'll go into all the food stuff. So, oh, you can't see it yet. There you go. There's my bicycle, and the battery's right here, and that's my favorite thing. They're so wonderful. And then when I'm fully self-contained, these are the bags that I pack all my stuff in. And actually, when I go on a hub and spoke tour, I use these like dresser drawers. So I still pack in these. And that way, even if I don't use them on the day ride, I will use their waterproof. So if it is a wet day or a rainy, threatening day, I might pack in these other than my day bag. But
Janet, will you tell us the name of that and who makes it? Because some people are not familiar with any of these materials, and it's helpful if they have an idea of a brand.
this is an Ortlieb. It's a German waterproof bag. If I could,
There it is. Okay. Or
yeah,
Sleeve. Okay.
they're very popular, but lots more have come out now. For a while, these were almost the only bag that was available, but now there's more. And then I even got these little back pockets, so I can stick a banana in there, toilet paper, my wallet, um, a pair of glasses, things that I need to grab quickly, handy wipes, things like that. Handy. And then this is a back rack. And so they just hook on this back rack like so. And this is the first time this year. I haven't even been riding. You get to ride every day. I'm going to move down where you are.
I, by the way, people in Southern California. Yesterday was almost 90 degrees.
That is amazing. So I try not to fill them too full, but you just clip them shut and everything stays pretty dry in there. The problem is if you have to go into your bag. Oh, see now I just put the bag on the wrong way. Because if this little pocket is sticking out, then my heel hits it.
Ah,
That's how I know that this is going to be my left bag. And it becomes important because since your bag is like a dresser drawer, you've got certain things in certain places in the bag. So I'm going to want things during the day while I'm riding that I might have to go after. Like, say it's real sunny in the morning and then the clouds roll in and it starts looking wet. I need access to my rain gear. So I'm going to have my rain gear on the outside. And then in my left bag, I'll have um, things that I want accessible. For instance, say I start out cool in the morning, I've got a wind jacket on, and then it starts to warm up. I'll take that wind jacket off and just put it in that left front bag. And then if it gets cool again as the day goes on, I can just pull it back out again. So, and I'll have
so
more
let's
snacky type
clarify.
things.
I'm
Yeah.
sorry. Finish your sentence so that if it is cool again, you can get to them. That you just pointed out those bags over there, those are for
Mhm.
the front of the bike. So you have the same bags and the same kind of a rack for the front and the back.
Yeah.
People, do you see how she's walking and how she's moving? If you didn't know, well, you don't necessarily know better, but we could be looking at a 25-year-old sporty woman based on the way she's built, based on the way she walks, the way she moves. In other words, she's fit, she's capable. And Janet, would you mind telling us your age? I'm 74, people, so if I can ask and tell, I sort of feel that I have the nerve or maybe the chutzpah to ask her.
March 17th, I'll be 70 years old.
70
Yeah.
and 0. March
The big 7-0.
So in other words, yeah, and it is. When I turned 70, people, I celebrated by publishing a book, Aging Powerfully, because you know what I decided? I decided when I turned 70 that it meant the beginning of another 10, 20, or 30 healthy years. I've been a health coach now going on 7 years, plant-based 7 years, and I saw what lifestyle as medicine as a health coach for lifestyle medical practice would do for a person health wise. So I saw it as the beginning of another 20, 30 years. That's like the beginning of a new life, if you think about it. So 70 and the way you are, you can go into your hundreds still doing what you're doing because people, the longer you do a thing, the more you're able to do it. It's when we stop moving that we stop moving. Our body forgets what to do and then quite often can't. So my guess is that you are more fit, more capable, certainly move more freely than you did last year or the year before or the year before. Is that so?
Well, I mean, I toured like this for, well, 1990 was our first cross country tour. So, and I'm a retired physical therapist, so I've also always been very physically
Okay.
active. But yes, I mean, moving at 110 pounds is just, it's just the bee's knees. I mean, it's just the most incredible thing. I just,
So you were riding 90 pounds heavier.
well, uh, when I was 90 pounds heavier, I was just getting divorced from my first husband. So I was very unfit starting out. But my first job, because when I left my first husband, I had to leave the state because of co codependency. Like I couldn't, when he would beg to get back, I would say, okay, okay. So I left. I knew I had to go. And I went to Purdue University and I got a job at a co-recreational gymnasium as a janitor. So I went from being a accounts receivable clerk sitting at a desk all day to being very active. So for weeks I was sore, and I got all the things, plantar fasciitis and I was just it was hard, but I kept at it and I started to work out at the co-rec, and so I got down, like the first 10 pounds or maybe even 20 pounds. I think I got down to about 180, um, and then 170, just from changing from being trapped, to
Yeah.
being much more active. So, and I was always trying to diet, always, always, always. I was just not very good at losing the weight. I couldn't stick with it anymore. It was too advanced. So I would say in the, but the 180s, 170s is when I started getting active. And when I was at Purdue, I was only there for a year, and then my mom got sick. So I went back to Buffalo. And I actually got into the physical therapy program there, and I was walking back and forth to the campus. I did start out with a bicycle. So I did start to bicycle, but it got stolen very quickly at the
Mm,
university, even though it was locked. And I mean, it's just a thing. Everybody, it's not safe to have a bicycle on a college. It's everybody wants one. So when I got my first job, 7.5 years after my divorce, after I graduated from physical therapy school, that's when I went to Dayton, Ohio, and I went to the bike shop and bought a bicycle and got into the bike club and started bicycling. And I had learned soccer at the colleges that I was at, University of Buffalo and Purdue, and I was playing soccer. And I was trying, and it's amazing how fit you can get that overweight,
yeah.
to where I could at least, of
Oh,
course, bicycling was easier than soccer, of all sports, having to run up and down a field, but I just love that game. And then
no,
as
I've taken you way off track, and I'm
I, yeah,
thinking I'm gonna let's just put it this way. My point is and was that at almost 70, you move like a 20-year-old. And regardless of when that began and has manifested and then become even more so, it's quite telling that when we move, we can, and we can ultimately do it really well. And it gives you a new lease on life. So keep going.
definitely.
I'm going
Okay.
to be quiet.
So I just wanted to show, just when I'm fully loaded.
You're going to need to move. You're going to have to move the camera again because now we're
Oh,
still seeing
oh,
the
thanks,
upper,
Dan.
yeah, upper part.
Thanks for letting me know.
There you go. There we go.
Yeah. So then this log bag goes on top, and that hooks to both these bags. And then I even have where's my lunch bag? I even have a bag, like it's a 6-pack bag that you put a 6-pack of pop in it, but it makes a great lunch bag. And I bungee that onto the front rest.
So
So that's
just
why
you just said that you bungeed both of those bags you sat on
just
top,
this
right?
one.
How do you attach the yellow one?
That has its own. Uh, uh,
Oh, got it.
it's
Okay.
also an ord lead, and it hooks into
Okay.
these bags.
Yeah, we need to see that. Okay. I wondered how that stayed there. Okay.
Yeah,
So,
I'm just trying to hurry because I'm taking too long explaining all this other stuff. Yeah, when I'm just on a hub and spoke tour, I use my day bag, which is this one.
hmm.
So watch what this does. It has a piece that runs, this is a special rack, and this bag goes with this rack. And it hooks in. See,
Wow.
it
Okay.
won't move. And then these unzip and they come down.
Hmm.
So I can still carry my lunch and jacket. And in springtime, I usually like to take rain gear. And then it opens up here, and even this top part expands. If I can find the right zipper. See, so it gets even higher.
Huh.
So it's great the things that are available. So I might just take this, and I might just take a front bag, and I won't take my lunch bag. So it's a lot lighter.
Speaking
Not
of weight, are you concerned with and do you specifically weigh and try to maintain a maximum of weight that you're going to ride with? No, you just bring whatever there is to bring and you don't worry about what it weighs. Okay.
because I have an electric assist. Before, when we didn't have e-bikes, yes, it's all about the weight. Like even breaking off your toothbrush things,
No.
handles. I mean, it's just crazy what you try to do to decrease your weight. The pedal assist changes everything. You can carry anything you want as long as the bike is strong enough. And we made sure we got really strong bicycles so that we could do that. So the problem is you all you have are those 5 bags. So everything's got to fit in the bags. And at night when we get to our room, I mean, it's like an explosion because you have to get things out of the bag to find the thing that you need. So that's the other benefit about having them like dresser drawers where you have certain things in certain bags, because then at least you only have to dump out one bag to get whatever it is you're looking for if you can't find it, which is, really the first month it takes you to really get in the rhythm of what is where. And so for just doing a 10-day tour, it's kind of nice to have a hub so that a lot of your stuff you can just leave. You don't have to take it with you on the ride. So you can just take what you're going to need that day. So, but it's all fun. I love it all.
All right. So you're going to want to lower your camera if you're still showing us bike things.
I got lots of show and tell.
Good, good. Okay. Yeah, because I was wondering about food. Give us some ideas.
Yeah. So this would be a lunch. And I'm on a juice fast right now, Dan, so I'm not eating. So I didn't make a salad, but usually I'll make a salad to fill one of these containers.
Okay.
Okay. But then I'll also take this has chopped fennel, sugar snap peas. You and I are both sugar snap pea lovers,
Yeah. Yeah.
and carrot. And usually I have jicama, but I'd already eaten all my jicama. So I thought, oh, I'll put some fennel. I love that too. So just some veggies to munch on, and then oftentimes a piece of organic corn, just raw.
Do you steam that or is that just
No,
raw?
that
Okay.
it's wonderful, just raw.
I love raw corn.
Yeah, and then I'll definitely take fruit.
Okay.
Uh, Typically, an orange, an apple, and banana you can always find at a grocery store. So it's always I go to the grocery store, whatever the store has. If they have a nice ripe avocado, Stephen and I will both work on an avocado.
What do you use to keep your hands clean? Are you using the same wipe again and again, like a microcloth, or are you using paper towels that you pull off, or are used in wet wipes, like, the non-chemical baby wipes? What do you do to
Yeah,
keep?
any combination of those, and then see the green, this on my bicycle.
Yes.
I use that. But yeah,
Oh,
handy
no,
wipes
that's a wiper.
and
Got it. Got it. Okay. It's a
yeah,
towel.
yeah. It's a kerchief, a handkerchief.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I saw
You know,
the
ones that you
and I saw the apple and the banana, and I thought there's going to be residue on your hands that you're going to want to wipe off. Okay.
yeah, we'll also use the little squirt bottles that all of them that came out with COVID, where you can just
Yeah.
they're the waterless soap. So that's an example of what I'll do for a lunch. And then I was going to show you, I'm Robert Stevens cooked, and I make this soup that he loves so much. He makes every evening for himself, even while we're at home. But I wanted to show you how we make it in the rice cooker. So let me
Okay.
go grab it.
They just recently completely renovated the room we're looking at. Everything was out of it. The first time I spoke to her, I believe the walls were bare or they were just being put together. So the house is outfitted for them specifically. I was telling them that you just
Yeah,
recently,
I heard you.
oh,
We
you heard
completely
the whole thing.
edited it. Yeah, we were down to the 2x4s.
Okay. Oh, look at that.
Oh,
That's an electric rice cooker.
yes. And so he'll carry this in his log bag, the yellow bag that goes
Now, who
across.
makes that?
This is made by TLOG, and they don't make them anymore. Well,
Okay.
actually, I guess they do. I know Jean from my one of my community groups, she wanted one for travel, just even in the car, because they come in really handy. They make these are the ingredients that I just wanted to give you an example. When you walk into a store, you can typically get a piece of broccoli, a couple of little potatoes. There's a zucchini that I cut into thirds, and so I'll do a third each time I do a soup, a couple of mushrooms. There's a parsnip here, a carrot, and a sweet potato. And he'll usually make noodles in a collapsible hot pot. I wish you could smell this, but the umami of the mushrooms. Oh,
So what you just showed us is now in that container fully
yes.
cooked. How
Yeah.
long did you leave it in there? And the rice cooker doesn't have temperature settings usually, did
It
it?
just has a kanji setting.
Okay. So
And
you
so I,
added water and
yeah,
there's your soup. I'll be darned.
and it just smells wonderful and it's delicious. Oh, and I put in the Costco no salt seasoning. I'll usually do a seasoning mix, or Stephen will, and we'll just use that. There's garlic and onion. Oh yeah, I forgot to tell you there's a piece of garlic in there. It's in the bowl there. I forgot to pull it out. Piece of garlic.
Yeah. Okay. All right.
So this makes a very hearty bowl of soup for Stephen.
Huh.
And I
Now,
just,
with leftovers, well, because you're staying, your leftovers are really a prize. You get them the next day. If you
you
were
know what?
traveling, typically, you just make sure that you make enough to be finished, but not going for leftovers, correct?
If there's leftovers, he has it for breakfast.
Oh, okay, okay.
Yeah, or he'll pack it for lunch. We've got little thermoses if he takes that. So
Okay,
it'll just depend on,
all right.
we just, but you got a good point that we've got to make sure that whatever if we don't use it up, we carry it
Yeah.
because we hate to waste anything.
I want that so badly. It's looking delicious.
It's just amazing soup. I mean, just the smell.
Very, very nice.
So that's an example of a dinner.
All right.
And I was going to show you this collapsible.
Carry or do you buy breads or crackers, or do you feel that you need anything like that when you have such a varied soup?
You know, Stephen might, but not really because anymore because we're so into nutrition.
Yes,
Crackers are just kind of dry and they don't they're not they there's not really that much to them.
right.
And so he would rather have uh, noodles, the ramen,
Hmm.
brown rice and millet noodles,
Okay. So what is
or
that? What did you just show us? I saw that you expanded it down
it's a
from,
collapsible hot pot.
no.
Isn't it cool? And this
A
is a handle.
collapsible hot pot. Okay, I need to hear how that works.
So I just get the handle on here, and there's this little tab that I pull back, and the handle now won't come out, and then it hooks up here, and then you just pour water in it, and wouldn't you know, I don't have, oh, it's in the bag, the little cord. Where is the bag that it came
Now,
in?
where did you buy this on Amazon or do you go
Yes.
to the sports supply
Amazon.
places or what? Amazon. Okay.
We had this one,
Okay.
but the collapsible one, it's more mobile. It fits better.
And so tell us the name of that.
Which one? The one I
The
just showed you?
collapsible. Yes. Most of us have never seen anything like that, but anything, this is all new to a lot of the people who are watching. And I'm basically speaking for myself.
Doesn't have a name on it, Nan.
Well, the collapsible one,
The
that's
collapsible one,
collapsible. Yeah. I know it's so frustrating and unusual when we realize that a manufacturer hasn't put their name on a thing and people ask and we can't even find it.
okay, you ready? I'm going to spell it.
Yep.
Loutytytuo.
Loutytyuo. Lu.
Yes. And it comes in this little bag and says collapsible electric kettle. Whoops.
Okay.
And then here's the cord.
See, even people who camp and have a little teeny camper or even one of the little houses and they need equipment to have something like that is very handy. What is I can't tell, is that a quart and a half? I doubt that it's 2 quarts, or is it? What is the capacity? Have you any idea?
See if it says here. Oh, 555 milliliters.
Can you convert?
I would have to
Hold on, hold
ask
on.
Google.
Sorry, everyone. Hey Siri, how many ounces is 550 milliliters?
550 milliliters is 18.6 fluid ounces.
Okay,
Oh, wow.
yeah,
That's pretty
yeah,
decent.
yeah. So that's 18 and a half ounces. All right.
Oh, I'm doing the wrong thing here. There's little arrows to show me what to do. Look at how the little handle just
That's
fits to the side.
really something.
And
What,
so it all goes in this bag, and that way you keep it all together.
hmm. So that's basically about a pint, a little more than a pint.
Yeah, and he can cook those ramen noodles in there.
Oh,
And he does.
huh.
And then he'll have a piece of corn and he'll stick his in the microwave.
Okay.
But when we lost power, he couldn't cook anything. And I still made my salads and ate my fruit, and it was great.
Didn't notice the difference.
Yeah.
We were going to do this interview, people, on Tuesday afternoon, and she had power intermittently throughout the day, but more off than on, and it was a freezing cold day, and we got to close to 4 o'clock, or we were going to do it at, oh, I don't remember exactly the time, maybe 3:30, or maybe even 4. and she got power at what, 4:15 that night, and you'd been freezing overnight and off and on all day long. That's
Yeah, I
not
mean,
fun.
when the power went out, that was it.
Yeah,
We
that's
we
no
didn't get it came on once for a couple of minutes,
fun.
and
Okay.
then it was completely gone again. So it was not as bad as it would have been on the 28-degree day
Yeah.
week. And so, but it just gets so cold.
Okay, so what else do you do? What does Stephen do for his breakfasts? Almost always leftovers from the night before, or do you bring like oats with you to put in
Yeah,
that pot?
he makes oats, and for a long trip, we just buy more oats.
Yep.
He makes oats, and then he gets the frozen mixed fruit
Uh-huh.
from the freezer part of the store, if he can't get it fresh. And he has that every morning here too. He
Yeah.
loves his oatmeal and fruit.
My husband's the same way.
And then for lunch, he'll do something like the little um, corn tortillas,
Uh-huh.
and he'll put peanut butter and the jam on that's just fruit. And he'll do hummus. He'll do all kinds of stuff
Okay.
for his
And
lunches.
then if the group were getting together for dinner, what kinds of things do you see people doing? Because I take it, and I may have this wrong, that if with that number of people, do you assign things and have a communal meal that people have just brought ingredients for, or is everybody on their own to prepare their meal for that night?
Each they're all on their own because we all eat differently. I eat raw. Stephen doesn't like salt, sugar, fat. The other group, they're vegan. Some are Charlie and Carol, they're sugar, salt, fat free. They're going to go to True North right after the ride.
You mean
So
not
they're going to
go home and then stay there and fast right after
yeah,
you ride?
yeah,
Wow. For how
yeah.
long?
And this will be their second time.
Are they
And they
staying
went,
a week or 2 weeks or what? Do you know?
I think they're going to try to do the 10 days again.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And they did it last time. And then uh a couple of them they eat like they eat they'll eat vegan while they're with us, but they don't necessarily do it when they're doing other things.
Okay. All right.
So
So they're not frying chicken while you're all doing your thing, but they may do that at home.
they don't really do meat, but they'll do something special like oysters or because we live on the water.
Oh, okay.
We're all close to water, so there's a season for that. and
Yeah.
and um and they like to travel, and so when they travel they just relax more, and it's not so much meat animal products as it just the regular vegan restaurant food.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
till they
So,
get feeling lousy, and then they get strict again for a little bit.
yeah.
So
All right.
yeah,
What else can you tell us? What else do you have in that bag of tricks of yours? What else have you packed that you know you're going to be using in just a few days?
I was going to show you my kitchen. Well, actually, this is not, we're going to be at an Airbnb, so I won't. I will still take a good knife because you never know. But mainly the things that I like to do when I'm self-contained is a set of silver, a knife, a fork, and I'll do a smaller sharp knife, but a serrated one,
All right.
because you never know when you might need a serrated knife. And Stephen builds me these little cardboard taped protectors,
Oh,
which
that,
are really
oh, so
handy.
that's duct tape surrounding shaped cardboard?
Yeah.
Well, that
Well,
would,
he shaped it.
yeah, well,
He,
I take it he did. Well, that's
yeah,
wonderful. Custom for your
yeah.
knife. Okay.
And then I always need a peeler and a grater and the hand spiralizer. I forgot the spiralizer. But I in on my phone I have a grocery shopping app
Okay.
to where you can list groceries that I use through the day. I'll record what I'm going to need. as he and I figure out, oh, wait a minute, hey, Janet, will you write down, we need more balsamic vinegar, well, it'll help us remember, because by the time we're at the store in the evening, our brains may be a little bit less functional than they were in the morning. And so I try to gather that up. Well, also on that shopping list, I have a touring list, and I have a list for all the my kitchen touring, and then all my clothes. So in my bags, I've got my different clothes. I've got my bicycle clothes. I've got my cold weather clothes. I've got my off the bicycle clothes.
And is
Some
that because they're all packed in advance, or is that because you have these lists and you, before you go, to be sure you don't forget anything, you check things off your list depending on what kind of trip? That's brilliant, because how many of us have arrived places and forgotten the most logical thing to bring, but that we simply forget? What is the name of your app? I have one called Our Groceries that I love. What is your app called? I couldn't do without it, because same thing. I push the app, I speak into the phone and tell it what I want, and then wherever I am, I know what I need.
It says shopping list,
It's
and it's
just
that little
full.
grocery
Oh,
cart.
I see.
Yeah,
Okay. All right. Nice.
and
Very
I'll.
nice.
I mean, there's.
Yeah.
Well, actually, let me go to my touring.
So you can do albums or different lists. Yeah.
Yeah, there's my touring kitchen. And I
Nice.
just go
Nice.
down the list and make sure.
Dish soap. I was going to ask you how you keep things clean.
Yeah,
Beautiful.
I've got a little plastic. It screws shut, and I put it in a Ziploc bag to make sure if it somehow becomes unscrewed and leaks, it won't come out there. And then I'll take a sponge. I'll take a hand towel, because for certain things we don't want to use their white bathroom towels.
Right, right.
So we'll use a hand towel. And we do, when we're on a long trip, we'll do laundry. Well, on a long trip, we'll tend to take Saturday off, because that is the busiest day on the road all day, because everybody's out doing their errands. So it's kind of the scariest day to be getting in traffic way. So, and what we found when we were going around the country is Saturdays a lot of times are rainy. And so it was a good day to take off.
Well,
I
that's an
can't,
interesting conclusion. I wouldn't have guessed that. Are you
the,
going to be showing us, we can screen share. Are you
mhm.
going to be showing us anything else in the kitchen or with your bike?
I basically shown you everything
Okay. All right.
except for, yeah, yeah,
Okay.
yeah. So
Get
yeah,
back
let's
up
go ahead and
there.
get back together here. I've got us both.
Okay. All right. Oops. I'm going to have to get you back up there now. Well, that's not how we do it. Hold on a minute. How's this? That's not how we do it. You know what, people, we were just playing around with this and we thought we had this nailed. I certainly hope. There. Okay. That we did this
Great.
correctly and that we've recorded this. That's not funny. All right. Anything else you want to tell them? Anything else you want to talk about? We
I love to talk about this. The bundle starts tomorrow, and my whole thing is helping people with travel. And so this is just such a great lead in for that,
Okay,
because
talk about the bundle. I was in last year's bundle. It this year I just had too many other distractions and I didn't do it and I have paid no attention. I haven't bought a bundle this year. So tell them what they need to know, because if it starts tomorrow, I know how much work went into creating these bundles and promoting them and the value, but they may not. So go ahead.
it's just amazing. I learned how to write an ebook. I mean, it's so funny because I read your book, and I'm so inspired by you, Nan. And then it just helped me know, well, if Nan can do it at 70, I can write an ebook. I can learn, and I mean, it's just a 27-page ebook. And but I had to learn Canva. I mean, it was the first that I'd gotten on it. And at first it was just about everything is just so hard at first. And then something clicks. And then I start to get it. And then it becomes fun because things start to work. So, anyways, so the other thing is because we're leaving Saturday, I'm all packed.
So we're
So I'm
ready. This works beautifully.
I was wondering how am I going to do the bundle? Because every day we go live, we're talking about each other, and my thing all week is I'm going into different people's submissions and just looking through the recipes and thinking, oh, I could make that recipe in a hotel room. And so I'm making the recipe and recording it, or I'll, when I'm live interviewing with someone, I'll have a finished recipe and say, this was from so and so who's in the bundle. And so people can get a sense for what's in the bundle. So
And
it's
tell
going to
them
be
what
busy.
they're charging for the bundle and how many entries are in the bundle this year.
There's over 80 submissions. It's worth over $5,000. Lisa doesn't have the exact figures yet, or she might by now. And what was the other thing I was going to say? Oh,
If
49, it's $49.
And if you will send me your link in
Oh,
the description, I'm going to put the link to your YouTube and your Instagram, and I'll put the link to your bundle, and we
okay.
can buy our bundles from you.
That would be so cool. If
Wouldn't
you
it?
click on my link, just so people know, I get credit for it. So I tried it once for NHA as an affiliate, and one person clicked on my link. So I just donated it back to the NHA.
Well,
So, but it would
I'm
be
going to buy
fun.
my bundle from you.
Okay.
Anyone who wants a bundle may want to get it, and they are very worthwhile. We have the resources are so rich, so valuable, so varied. Um, Things from yoga classes to cooking classes to lifestyle classes and to raw as well as cooked food, but they are all whole food plant-based.
There's meditation this year. There's challenges. There's just all kinds. Plant docs is in there. I'm going to be meeting with Wendy, and she's going to tell us what that is. And there's just all kinds of stuff. This is my third bundle, and there's so many things. And I mean, Lissa is putting in whole bunches of entries, and Chef AJ's got some stuff in there, and Elsbeth from our Feel Fabulous group, and it's
Yes.
just really,
Yeah.
yeah.
So anything else, I would, if we were live, I'm sorry, people, I would be saying, well, what about this and what about that? But you can do that. Those of you who are watching, make a comment because is this a accurate statement, Janet? Will you from time to time on your trip check the comments on this video and respond? Because if somebody has a specific question, may they ask you on the comment to this video?
Yes, and I'll take you on the trip with me. I'll continue posting on Instagram every day what I eat, and here we are, and here's where we're going, and because the people that follow me, they love to see what I'm doing on the trips, and I love to show. So I love to talk about this. It's my passion. So both the food and the bicycle and the travel. I'm saying both, but that's three things. I just it's the life that I always wished I could have had, and I've got it.
And it's not really just the beginning for you, but you really do have decades more of this kind of fun.
And it feels that way. It
Yes.
continues to feel, no matter how much I do it, it feels, I just feel like I'm just getting started. So, I mean, this whole experience with the bundle was a whole new thing. And I did the Main Street Vegan Academy course for vegan coach. I did that this past year. There's so much wonderful stuff, and going to the different conferences. I've done the Chef AJ's. I'm going to miss it this year because the Alaskan cruise is the same time as her full day in Vegas this year. Well, she's not putting it on, but
I'm
she's
going to be
hosting it.
there. It's actually 3 days, the um,
Party
plant powered party. Yeah, I'll be
for
there.
Dr. McDougall. Oh, darn. I was going to ask you if you were doing something
Oh,
this year so
and
I could
you're
come.
doing Alaska, the vegan Alaska tour. That's something too. Dr. Greger is there, and oh, you're
Yeah.
gonna. Oh,
Dr.
okay.
Batiste.
Yes.
And
You know what? You're like a kid in a candy store, and the world is your oyster. We have a couple of cliches there that are applicable. All
yes,
right. Well, we're going to let people go. It's
okay.
been a delight. Stay on. I'll say goodbye to everybody. So, again, I'm Nan with Aging Powerfully, and my mission is to help people understand that at any age we can age with power by accepting and adopting lifestyle as medicine. That means that you prioritize sleep, that you move every day, and we've talked a lot about that, that you have community around you, that you create it or that you go after it because we live longer when we're part of a tribe. And then finally, that we take care of ourselves with food, and even the College of Lifestyle Medicine recommends whole foods, plant-based, and many are SOS free. That means salt, oil, and sugar free. I don't add oil to my cooking unless I'm doing so with Dr. Goldner's protocol, where we use the cold pressed flaxseed oil that's not cooked with. It's simply used for its omega-3 fatty acids or the flax and chia seeds. So I hope you have a great day. I know I'm going to consider my book. Please subscribe. You're going to get everything that Janet is available through in terms of her links. So take advantage of that and consider the bundle. And thank you for joining us. Bye bye, everyone.